Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new action crime thriller neo-western, Day of Reckoning. And this is from director Sean Silva, from writer Travis J. Opgennorth, and this film focuses on the story of Sheriff John Dorsey, played by Zach Roig, who takes in a female outlaw, played by Kara Jade Myers, holed up in this home, and he has to team up with a bullish, not exactly the nicest U.S. Marshal named Butch Hayden, played by Billy Zane. And you have Sheriff Dorsey's life in shambles, probably going to lose his job, things with his wife are not great, and he winds up developing this connection with this female outlaw, Emily Rusk, and must contend with the not so great intentions of this U.S. Marshal, as well as the very capable and dangerous husband of this outlaw, played by Scott Adkins, and who is working with big bad guy named Big Buck, played by Trace Adkins, no relation. And this film, at the heart of it, it has intense, some visceral action sequences. I think it's not the most polished in terms of direction. There's some interesting choices in terms of, say, music or camera shots or visuals for some of these action sequences that I think are a little bit rough around the edges and kind of take you out of those moments. And, like, obviously you have Scott Adkins, who is an incredible martial artist and can do all of his own stunts. And some moments are really chopped up anyway, because I don't know if Billy Zane can do the same thing. I think the action sequences are tense enough and engaging enough to get you there. There's not as much as you might expect. This film does run a little bit long, it feels like. A little bit closer to 2 hours than 90 minutes, and maybe this would have felt a little brisker and a little bit easier to take in if it was closer to that 90-minute mark. I think our central character, the sheriff, is not exactly the most interesting character, and Roig doesn't give the most dynamic performance, but I do like Myers. I think she has some interesting elements to her performance that makes her stand out, but, you know, I don't really buy this romance. It feels very tacked on, and by the end it becomes such a big motivator and crux of the story that it kind of takes away from the film. And then you do have Billy Zane, who is hamming it up, going big with his performance, and I think at this point in his career, he has that in his back pocket and can throw that out and have some fun with it. Scott Adkins definitely has the physicality, and he has a lot better acting chops than what are on display in this movie, because basically he just yells every line and does it in not the best American accent, because, you know, that's not his native accent. And then, you know, Trace Adkins just showing up here looking big and tough with his deep voice, and they even use some of his music. It's one of those kinds of things where it's just like, sure, he works fine, he's a recognizable face, and he is a big dude. And in general, I think this film is quite derivative of a lot of other kinds of films like this. I don't think it brings anything new or fresh to the table from a story standpoint or a character standpoint. I think, like I mentioned before, the story feels a little stretched out, a little too thinned out, but in general it still delivers. And I think some of the fun supporting turns here, along with the action being, you know, solid and workable, leaves this film feeling very middling, but, like, not bad. Like, it's rock solid. And if you, like, I got to check this out in a theater. If you see it on VOD, probably going to fit right into that kind of, like, VOD action thriller. And, you know, it has some good old school kind of Western vibes thrown in here. And you can tell Silva was having fun making this, and so were the cast. And you'll get some elements out of it for a good time. But those are my thoughts on Day of Reckoning. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.